This is Vet Tales, the story of the sailing veterinary clinic. Last episode, we finished up day 2 of our free clinics in Agua Verde. This episode, we journey north to resupply, but get caught in an unexpected gap wind. We were enjoying a day off veterinary work, taking Addie on a little hike to fly the drone and get a bird's eye view of the anchorage. It was our first day off since arriving, with 2 clinic days in the town of Agua Verde. We were providing free parasite control medicine and doing free checkups on all the dogs and cats. Agua Verde is a very remote community, with no human doctor, let alone veterinarian in town. So we had a great turnout with people bringing their animals from all over town and surrounding ranchos.
I see.
We were not only providing treatments, but also getting an idea of the number of animals and their needs. For example, what vaccinations they needed and if they needed to be spayed or neutered. We saw a variety of cases, including a litter of new puppies that needed a checkup, a pregnant cat, and skin and ear infections. We spent the first clinic day in the beach palapa near the Brisas del Mar restaurant. The family who run this restaurant helped us organise these campaigns. On the second day, we moved to the southern end of the beach and then walked through town to track down even more animals. We saw more than 65 animals over the 2 days, which is a ton for one veterinarian and a vet assistant who also had to film and document the whole thing. So after all that, it was very much time to rest and catch up on non-veterinary things like video editing. We left Agua Verde today because we were meant to have a westerly, which would have been nice for sailing north in. And then when we woke up, it was actually coming from the east, kind of northeast, but there's this very strange like chop in the water, and we're trying to figure out what the wind's doing. Right now there's basically no wind. There are these westerly gap winds though, so it's possible we're currently blocked from the westerly and then we're going to come into stronger winds, and that's what's creating this chop. But we don't know for sure. So we're just going to kind of play it by ear today in terms of sailing versus motoring and what's happening with the wind. We were considering visiting the town of San Cosme, which is on this coast here, but we'll wait and see, because in this chop, here comes the westerly, I think. In this chop, I think it'd be really difficult to try and explore that area because not all of it's well charted. Yeah, so we're going to play it by ear a little bit today. Maybe we visit the village on the way back to Agua Verde when it's actually a little calmer, so we'll see. There comes the winds. There's some wind now. That must be what's happening, huh? It's creating this chop. Okay, interesting. All right, we are sailing. So the westerly did pick up a little bit. We are reefed because the gap winds here can get really strong, like 18, 20, 25 knots, which we experienced last time we came through. We may be being a little bit preemptive because we've gone to the second reef already, but we've got full head sail out and we're actually doing like 4.5, 5 knots. So we're just going to wait till we hit this windy a bit and then we can always raise the main more. Here it comes.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to San Cosme.
No. also makes the decision we are not going to stop at San Cosme because we'd be going directly into like 20 knots of wind, which also means the anchorage is probably not so great there right now. So next time when we have some calm weather, we can visit that village and see if they have any veterinary needs as well. So for now, we're just going to use this wind to get as far as we can and head back towards Puerto Escondido. As we moved north, the gap wind continued to get stronger and stronger, making the boat difficult to control. We eventually had to pull the head sail in and use the main to run downwind to escape the worst of it and prevent a potential knockdown.
Kind of nuts.
Alright, things have calmed down a tiny bit now. Because there's only the two of us, we can't really film when things are happening hectically because we both need to be doing things. But basically the wind got really strong. We thought we were prepared this time by reefing early. We were not. Even reefed, we really struggled to get the sails down when the wind really started picking up. It was making it so we were getting really bad wind helm and like kind of doing those really crazy turns as we were coming down waves. So we are actually motoring now to behind this island for some protection, and then go from there. The wind actually might be dying off again now, but it got really crazy out there for a second. And we only had at one point we only had the main up with the second reef in, and we were still going 6.5 knots. So it was just a bit out of control. So we'll try and get in the lee of this island, reassess everything because everything's been kind of put together a bit hectically because we weren't expecting things to get so noisy. I said noisy because there's the prop singing. So windy, and then we'll reassess. So yeah, so we were trying to beam reach and we basically couldn't hold a beam reach. We just kept rounding up into the wind, even with the head sail reefed, main sail reefed, right off to the side. Yeah, so we basically had to come downwind to try and get control of the boat, and then that's when, like I was saying, even downwind we were getting like 6.5, 6.8 knots with just the main up reefed, and it was still kind of hard to control the boat, so we opted to just motor behind this island the last of the way, and that's also why we're all the way out here by the islands, because we got blown out this way. This wind is meant to die, but it was also not meant to be this strong, so we'll see. We're going to just fix the sails up a little bit because it was hard to get them in that wind. You can see it's all kind of skew-iff, so we're just going to neaten everything up. We're on the lee side of this island. You can see it's significantly calmer, no wind, collect ourselves. When that's all happening, you can't, I just had to pee. We haven't been able to drink, you can't drink or eat because it's just, things are too much. We had to put Addie downstairs, so he was freaking out. Yeah. So now we can all take a breather and get it all under control. Yeah, no anchorages on this side of the island, but you can cut through so we can start heading back in this way. I also started with 2 hair ties and I guess they got blown away in the hecticness. I would also like to point out, I know compared to some winds and seas you've probably seen on YouTube channels or yourself if you're a sailor, that probably wasn't crazy, and we were getting around 25 knots, which isn't a psychotic amount of wind, but Chuffed was definitely getting overpowered. We didn't have very good control of the boat, and that side of our rigging is also where we have a cracked stay, a stay with a whole thing in it, and the back stay is looser than I would like, but I'm afraid to do a lot of adjustments right now because of how everything is. So part of the reason we drop sails and are being extra cautious is because we don't really trust our rigging right now. We're like 3 weeks away from getting it inspected and hopefully a quote done so we can replace it. So it's kind of like, yeah, now's not the time to find out something's about to break, I guess. Well, our plan to use Isla Montserrat as a wind block worked nicely. We've just come around the island now. The wind is now coming more from the north because we're kind of through the bit where the westerly can really speed up through and create that gap wind. So yeah, we'll just kind of keep going in this direction towards Isla Danzante. There is a reef we have to keep an eye out for, so we're just kind of going to pick our course based on the wind and whether we can sail in any direction and kind of go from there. Wow, this is how we have to relax now. There's always a third. Well, we're coming up to the entrance of Puerto Escondido. We're all looking a little worse for wear, I think, today. Everyone's tired after such a stressful sail and a big weekend, hey? So yeah, we decided not to stop at Danzante. There was already a few boats in the anchorage and there's not a lot of space there. And there might be a westerly tonight, which we don't want to be caught out at another westerly, which means the island will just couple as well. So we're just going to head up into the mooring ball, have a good shower tonight, and then get cracking on ordering vaccines so we can head back to Agua Verde again soon. You know, when you reflect, you're like, was it as bad as we thought? Were the winds, and because, you know, we don't have an anemometer, so we don't know how high the winds were, you know, so then afterwards you're kind of like, was that only 20 knots? And we were like being a little bit scaredy cat. It was just the waves that were kind of worrying us, that kind of thing. But we actually then, when we got into shore yesterday, we talked to another boat who had seen us and they didn't have any sails up. They're in a 35-foot boat. And they said that they didn't put any sails up, took them 2 hours to motor 4 nautical miles going across because of how bad the winds and the waves were. And they said they saw us and then they couldn't see us anymore and they thought we might have been knocked down. So that's why they thought they couldn't see us anymore, not because we'd headed out. So they've been sailing 18 years and they said that they think it was at least 30 knots. So yeah, it was hectic. We weren't just being scaredy cats. I think we managed the situation as best we could, other than perhaps, I guess, you know, in hindsight, those gap winds are obviously even worse than what we were anticipating. But because we'd already encountered them and they were like, you know, 20 knots and we handled it fine, we kind of thought that's what we were going to get because that's what the wind predictions were saying. They were much higher. So we're going to just avoid that area in westerlies from now on. It's what they call an elefante here. It's got a special name, those winds. And yeah, we even looked at the wind prediction again when we got in and they had upgraded it significantly after the fact. Before we left, it was saying we were going to get gusts of like 18 to 20 knots and sustained 11. I think we were getting more like sustained 20 to 25 and gusts of like 30 plus. So yeah, hectic times. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help us provide free veterinary care to animals in the Sea of Cortez, you can become a patron for lots of extras like live updates and early access to episodes. Or you can make a once-off donation on our website. If supporting us financially is not right for you right now, you can help us out by giving this video a like or sharing it with your friends. Until next episode, stay chuffed, everybody.